kick-ass motorcycle. If the Marlboro man rode an enduro bike, this would be it. This is what it's all about, guys. It's about the kids, man. They're the future of motorcycling. This young guy wants to ride on a bike. My name's Ken. Pleased to meet you.
Oh my God.
Where's your gloves? Aren't your hands cold?
No, he's not.
You like motorcycles?
I really like motorcycles, and also, I actually am really famous of him. I'm really famous of you.
Awesome, awesome. You know, this whole building behind you is full of motorcycles. I even have ones your size in there. Little ones too, I think. That might fit you.
That's cool.
You want to go check it out? It's a lot warmer in there too. Get your picture taken with me? All right, stand right over here. That's what it's all about, man. The future of motorcycling. I saw the little guy walking down the street. He's getting a full tour of the museum with his mom on the house by Mario. The future of motorcycling. Get kids involved in motorcycling. It's the greatest sport in the world. What's up, fellas? I'm Kaplan America, and this is another classic SL350 from the Mac collection. Mac is one of the few dudes who I think is actually crazier than me. He's totally obsessed with restoring vintage motorcycles, and he's got a world-class collection at his house, and he calls us every time he's got a batch of bikes to sell. Junior and I went down, checked the video out a few months ago. We were down there, and we bought five or six or nine of these SL350s, I don't remember, and a bunch of SL175s. In any event, Mac had gone through the mechanics on this and decided he didn't have the bandwidth to do a full cosmetic cleanup and resto on it. So he went through the engine. He took the engine completely apart, pulled the clutch apart. You can see it's got all new gaskets, new base gasket, new head gasket, new valve cover, everything, all the gaskets on the motor, base, head, and all the gaskets. He bought a gasket kit, dismantled it, and honed the cylinder, cleaned up the rings. I think he replaced the rings, I'm not quite sure. Went through the whole motor and adjusted the cam chain, adjusted the valves, rebuilt the carburetors, put new air filters on it, cleaned out the tank, serviced and cleaned the entire motor inside and out, changed the oil. And then, but he didn't like restore the motor. You could still see that, you know, where he had put gasket seal on the new gaskets, and he just did the mechanics on it, and they needed, if you watch that video, to be gone through cosmetically. So we bought it in to the detail shop, and we did a bunch of mechanical stuff, including new chain and tires and a bunch of other stuff. So he did the heavy lift and did the motor. We did the cosmetic part, went into the detail shop, and Mark and Kyle ordered from Color Right this original Honda burgundy color. Ordered a set of decals. It was about $150 for the paint, $40 for the decals, so about just under about $200 in materials. And we have our new paint booth, so he got set up in that and painted it. So in any event, also the frame's been repainted. The bike was obviously stripped down. The headlight bucket, the headlight ears, the front fender, the tank, the side covers are repainted. The rear fender is a polished aluminum. All the chrome was polished and clean, and then the engine cases were polished. All the aluminum on the engine. The engine was given what we call a rotisserie detail. That means every nut and bolt on it was cleaned. You can see there's a lot of new hardware on it, or original hardware cleaned up. The kickstarter's polished. The shifter and the brake lever's polished. The brake rubbers appear to be in new condition. The general cosmetic condition of the bike is excellent, and it's all cleaned up. It's not a museum quality or a concourse restoration. It's more of what I'd call a preservation service. Cleaned it all up, coated all the metal surface, polished all aluminum, polished the forks. Even the fork lowers, the aluminum fork lowers were polished. The hubs were polished. The spokes, The rims were cleaned up. The chrome's not perfect on the rims. The rear's probably a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. The front's maybe a little better. Original shocks are intact. Now this is a low mileage bike. These are getting to be really rare. It's 49 years old, coming up on 50 years old, showing 5,900 miles on the odometer. The handlebars are in excellent condition, as are what appear to be the original brake and clutch levers. These might in fact be the original grips. I'm not really sure, but they're not new, but they're in good shape, so we left them on there. That's about it, folks, man. We've gone through the bike top to bottom. We put a new battery in it. Mac had done the points and the spark plug and gone through the carburetor and everything else. We got new SL350 side cover decals on it, new tank decals. The tires are brand new front and rear, as are the tubes, and it has a new gold chain on it. Bike was, when we bought it in, it was hot water, steam cleaned, pressure washed, hand washed, degreased, all the surfaces painted as mentioned, wet sanded and buffed the paint after it was painted. Painted the frame, the engine cases, cylinder, and side covers are polished, polished the wheels, the bars, everything. So Mario did some work on it too. Obviously, the carbs are already done, but I guess it wasn't running quite right. So Mario went through and cleaned and tuned the carbs again, put new fuel line on it. It's got VP fuel in the tank, new front and rear tires with new tubes. While the tires and tubes are off, he cleaned the inside of the rims and the rim locks and put a new battery in it, serviced the front and rear brakes, new chain, did some service on the ignition system. He changed the oil the second time because Mac had done it the first time, and then lubed all the cables. So and set the tire pressure. So he put about 5 hours into it. It's you know, if you look up close, there's a little rip on a little defect on the seat cover right here, but the rest of the seat cover looks great. It's not perfect, but it's an excellent rider, and they're a lot of fun, and they're going up in value. So it's a good investment in a classic bike that you can ride and have fun. 4-season bike. These tires work great in the snow. You can actually ride it on the street in the snow like I've been doing. So 5,900 miles. Great original Survivor. If you have any questions, give us a call. I'd like to point out the kickstand is Mac did some kind of a home repair on the kickstand. It's not the original kickstand. He actually welded another kickstand onto it, which is a little bit on the cobby side, but you can buy a new kickstand. Junior, is anything you'd like to add in sake of full disclosure?
Yeah, the fork tubes are a little bit pitted. There's a pea-sized dent in the tank that will be in the gallery. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, guys, not perfect, but that's what makes a good rider.
50-year-old classic, ready to ride. Good luck finding a nicer one out there. They're getting more and more rare. Thanks for watching, and God bless America. Hey guys, I forgot to mention, in sake of full disclosure, on the SL350, the taillight doesn't work, and the high beam doesn't work, and was that it? The headlight and the taillight and the horn don't work. So those 3 electrical functions don't work. It needs a little bit of electrical work. We've already got a $2,219 work order on the bike. So we put a ridiculous amount of work into it, and we wanted to get it ready for the auction this weekend, so we're selling it with those couple of issues. I think I went over everything else that had been done to it, right? It's all set. Yep. If you have any questions, give us a call.